In like the 4th or 5th grade, I started running the streets and hustling. And it started with stealing clothes and conning people out of money. And eventually, as I got older, it just grew into more and more criminal behavior. My parents were addicted to drugs. They had a crack cocaine addiction, and this led to a real unstable upbringing. I went to over 15 schools growing up. So by the time I was around 17, 18, I got involved in a bank fraud scheme. I had dropped out of school permanently by then. What that was my path to prison. When I released from prison in 2008, that's when I decided I was going to enroll at Pierce College, and I ended up going there, and education was able to transform my life. When I got to Pierce, that was the first time I was actually able to see success academically. I was able to see my potential. The main thing that stands out about Pierce is like, when I walked in that door, I wasn't like a convict or a felon and being separated from other people. I was just a college student. When you begin your life as a college student, you start to refer to yourself as such. You start to, like my family, the way that they started to look at me. I became someone who can be fresh out of prison. I got out of prison in 2008. That same year, I became a role model to people in my family, because I enrolled in college at Pierce.
Omari, Amili.
The graduation at Pierce, it felt amazing. That was the only one where both my mom and my dad were in attendance. They were both there to see me walk across the stage and graduate after failing to graduate from high school. So it felt real good to be able to give them that. I ended up going to UW-Tacoma after my time at Pierce. So I graduated from Pierce in June 2011, and by September 2011, I was starting at UW-Tacoma. I wanted to go get a master's degree in social work, and the focus was to work with disadvantaged youth. I wanted to help people from backgrounds similar to mine. After I graduated with my master's at UW-Tacoma, I graduated in December 2016. By March 2017, I was hired by South Seattle College to work as a faculty member and a case manager. So I was working directly with people who were coming out of the criminal justice system. So I did that from March until December 2017. In between, I was doing a lot of public speaking, sharing my story in a lot of different settings. Right now, I'm doing a lot with my book, Transforming Society's Failure. It was released last year. There's actually an audio book that's coming out soon. We're gonna be shooting a video version of that story soon as well. When I wrote the book, I wrote it just to get my experiences out there. I knew that the story needed to be shared. The thing that I'm most proud of is that I didn't give up. Like I faced a lot of adversity going through college. Like when I started at Pierce, I had my mom, I had my dad, I had my sister, I had my stepdad. They all passed away during my journey. What really kept me going was that fact that once I made the commitment, I was like, I gotta follow it through, Like this is my only way to make anything of myself. If I had quit school with 30 felonies on my record, the history, the background that I had, what would I have been quitting for? What would I have been turning to? I feel like that would have been basically a sign of me going back to a life of crime. It would have been a sign of me, really giving up on life, period. Giving up on college would have been giving up on life, because college allowed me to make a new life for myself.